Okay. This is your heart of your fire alarm system. It's a NFS Notifier 3030. It's all the brains and processor power. Over here you have two loop cards. We have SLC 1 and 2 that all your field devices are connected through. And to the right here you have a UDAC. This is your dialer for central station monitoring. Down below here we have our digital voice command. And I'll get into this in a minute here. Your system primarily has hard keys over here that are defined for a particular event. Trouble, as if I was to index through, would tell me any troubles. Currently we have no troubles. However, if I was to look at supervisories, we still have 4 supervisories, and that's due to the fact they still have the sprinklers turned off downstairs. So if I was to index through here, it would tell me I have an acknowledged supervisory, platform near elevator 2, concourse center, and the zone is concourse center, concourse Tamper, and it is zone 57, and it's a tracking supervisory. A tracking means it automatically tracks the state. There is no resetting the point. When the condition is clear to put to a normal state, it'll automatically clear the condition on the panel. If I was to go through and hit the next supervisory, it'll index through, and here we go again. Platform near elevator 3, west concourse. This one is zone 47. And same thing through, similar. We can also select more information over here. There's really nothing more to display on that particular point. For a smoke detector, however, it would tell you the current threshold values, sensitivity levels, and the current state of the point. These soft keys here are menu driven. Main menu will bring me to our main menu. Event count display brings us to this summary screen, tells us we have 0 fire alarms, 0 pre-alarms, 0 troubles. Right now we have some points disabled. They're still working on the methane and CO2 sensors downstairs, so they're currently in bypass as of this particular moment. We do have some keys down here that give you the opportunity to disable and enable or disable points. Right over here we have like the CO2 alarm disable, low alarm. If I was to hit this button here, we see we have an enable back in progress, and our disable count just went down. And I can go through systematically here and let me go ahead and disable these. And right now it's letting us know it's disabled some points and it wants to be acknowledged. So typically just come up here, hit the acknowledge, and that'll silence the panel. Let's go ahead and generate an alarm. If you open up that door right there, you have a pull station located on the inside. If you want to go ahead and give that a pull.
Can I pull it?
Now this is what you're going to see in a typical alarm condition.
Fire alarm.
Right, fire alarm, south exit corridor, retail building, retail pull station, zone 25. And again, this is the first thing you're going to see is fire alarm, south exit corridor, retail building, pull station, zone 25. And the first thing you're going to want to do is silence your local buzzer. It doesn't silence your audibles or anything else. It just merely silences the buzzer right here. I don't know if you can hear in the background, but you hear the voice message going.
Yeah.
There's been an alarm in the building, actually an emergency. At this particular point, you would go ahead and investigate the cause of the alarm, determine whether or not it's a valid alarm or it's just a false alarm. Somebody's pulled the pull station, a smoke detector has gone off. You have the option at this point of either silencing with signal silence, which will turn off your signals, your audio signals. Or if you need to make an announcement, you can merely pick up this here and key in an announcement and make a public announcement. Typically we would go signal silence, And because of the fact we haven't reset this pull station, we need to go over there and just open up the box real fast. And then from there we can reset. Otherwise we're just going to go back and alarm again.
There's so many kind of pull stations.
Yeah, here you go. And then you just flip it open, it automatically restores the handle. Flip the switch back up into the off position. And then you're clear. So let's go ahead and go back to the panel. And at this point we're still in an alarm condition, however signals have been silenced. At this point we're still in an alarm condition, the signals have been silenced, and we have the opportunity now to do a system reset. And because we still have supervisories active on the system, it's just letting me know, so we have to re-acknowledge here. The digital voice command is pretty straightforward. To make an announcement, if you want to make an announcement globally throughout the whole house, select all call here. It automatically selects all your speaker circuits, at which point you would press the microphone and testing 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a test of the fire alarm system. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Let go of the mic and it automatically restores off. If the mic's left just hanging for I want to say it's a 45-second period, it will generate a trouble, just letting you know that your speaker circuits are selected and nothing's happening. Nobody's made it a message. You also have the opportunity not to select all call. If you wanted to page a specific area of the building, say the concourse levels only, we just select the 4 concourse level speakers circuits. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're broadcasting only down to the lower level. Merely unselecting them will disable them and put them back to a normal state. In an alarm condition, the microphone will take precedence over any message going over the system. So you have the opportunity to pick it up, make your announcement, and then there it would automatically go back to the alarm message that's currently being played. There are a few other disable functions we programmed into the system. For testing, we have a notification disable. Selecting this button will disable all your speakers and strobes throughout the entire site. This allows you to go through and test the system without having all the bells and whistles go off, and to perform a complete functional test of the system. In addition, it's giving me some trouble conditions now, letting me know the points are disabled. I just acknowledge, and that silences it. It's just letting you know that there are troubles on the system, and our disable points indexed up. We also have points to disable HVAC shutdown for when you want to work on your duct smoke detectors or test your air handlers. And again, disable in progress. And you have the option of using either the soft key or the hard key to acknowledge. Acknowledge the point. And our final last point is elevator recall disable. And that allows you to go through and test all the elevator points without shunt tripping the elevator, recalling it, sending it to its primary or alternate. That single button will disable all elevator functions and allow you to test all the points that are associated with it. And again, I'll just acknowledge those points. The reason these are flashing here is due to the fact we have some other points that are disabled in the system for the fire marshal, so it's just letting me know there's a trouble condition that exists on those zones. So I'm going ahead and re-enable these points here.
When I tripped this pull station, did it do the whole station or just this building?
No, it did the whole site. Yes. Any smoke detector, any pull station, any methane sensor downstairs will trip the entire site off. as per the specifications. Anybody have any questions or?
Those pull stations are everywhere. I kind of see them. What are the chances of anybody just screwing them like kids that like pull them? You have to come here and reset the whole system.
Yeah, they're typically located at exits, and per the code. Note if this is an exit from the building, you'll find them at the elevator landings, any corridor exit from any building. Typically, I don't believe we have any at the public areas. Do we really?
I mean, public areas we have are the elevator lobbies themselves.
Right.
Anywhere they run from a fire. Pull stations are more for people protecting, and smokes and heats are more for property. So when you have people gathered, so many people, you have to have a pull stations for fire safety. But yeah, only at exits of buildings.
Yeah.
That's just something that parents have to train their kids.
Yeah, but you know how they are here. It
Yeah.
happens.
We do a lot of schools, and it's a lot worse. The junior
Yes.
highs, and they love it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
They want to break.
They do it, and they do it run, and
That's it.
so probably won't have so much problem here. But yeah, we do have pull stations at the public gathering areas.
When you get a CO2 alarm, like downstairs where the buses are going to be idling, how much do they withstand, or is there a percentage that
Yes.
before the alarm sounds? Or?
Yes, there's a low-level alarm for the methane sensors. It's at
20, 200?
200 or 20% LEL, or 40% LEL is a high-level alarm. For the CO2, it's at 25 parts per million for a low level, and 200 parts per million for a high-level alarm. And at the same time, there's a sequence that stages on the big exhaust fans down there to get more air changes per minute, per hour actually. Standard is, I believe, 6 air changes per hour. No, I'm sorry, 4 air changes per hour. In the low-level alarm, we go to 6 air changes per hour. And in the high level, we go up to 8 air changes per hour. And that's an all-automatic function of the system. The methane sensors and the CO2s are not latching alarms. When the condition restores itself, when the levels drop, the alarm will automatically clear itself. The sensor will automatically clear itself. However, you will require coming up here and hitting reset. Anything else, Leaf?
And on this side also, it's we don't have any enunciators. All we have is the main panel. So this is the only place you'll go to turn off alarms or fix alarms. Some jobs, some places, they have enunciators by the front door. For the fire department, you can usually go there. This job is different. It only has the main panel. So anything happens, you'd have to come right here to this.
And who's going to have the keys for the
Pull stations? We will be providing you keys
Yep.
for all the above,
Providing
including the
notifier
panel.
Keys. Notifier
Yes.
keys open up all pull stations, any panel. We do also have Honeywell power supplies, and Honeywell have a separate key. Honeywell owns Notifier now, so it's sort of the same company, but they're different keys. But Notifier keys will open all Notifier, and Honeywell keys will open all Honeywell. So you'll definitely get a supply of keys from those.
We want to take them downstairs, the IDF rooms.
Yeah. So look at them.
We have over about, say 98 detectors on this whole level of CNG. There's my relay. So I was talking about the sticker. I try to make it so you can read it.
Yeah.
I'm sort of blind, but that's definitely,
Loop 2, Module 5.
that's correct. And then also the when that thing goes off, like he was saying, that gray box has a piezo, make a noise. And also you'll see that relay little blinky light in the middle. It's really hard to see because it's green, but it will go solid red. So that's another indication what one is going off. But like he said, pretty much if it builds up too much, it'll probably be flushed out before you even get down here to see which one. You know, because it automatically resets once the big fans out back there. That's what all these ducting is also to take care of all the gases. It'll suck it out and blow them all out probably within the next, probably about 5 minutes or something, blow everything out.
Is there anything we do after that goes off? Or?
No, because like you said, it will self-correct unless it goes into trouble, like there's an issue with the board or it goes bad. That's a different story. But if it's just an alarm because it sees too much methane, it will go off. But when the fans blow, it'll blow it out, and then it should go back to regular. But you do have to go back up there and hit reset on the panel.
Well, that's what I was talking.
That's the only thing you would have to do, go to the panel.
The fan keep running all the time.
Not all the time. There's different air exchanges throughout the day. Like you said, on the low level, I think it was 4 or 5, and then on the high level, it's like 6 when it gets high
So
level.
hear that and fan active.
And then that should take care of it pretty quickly. So you won't have to, do anything about it. The fan will take care of the gases and blow them out.
So which one is CO2?
The CO2 are the ones on the walls and on the columns. That one right there. We got them on the columns inside, and let me show you this real quick. We have a. It's the same thing, but it's a different cartridge. It looks for, CO versus the methane. It's all about the little cartridge that it sniffs. It sucks air in and will detect what kind of gases it is. So these are set up for the COs.
Even people sprays.
Yeah, that could happen too. If it's too much of something, it's going to probably, confuse it.
They might come here and just blow something.
So right here's the cartridge. This is the part that sucks air in. And this is the piezo part. This is the part that's going to make the noise. If you like, I could get a bottle, we could hook it up and we could test this function and you could hear it go off. The only thing different about it is a different message. It will tell you about CO levels. It won't say emergency, it will say CO is high.
We have a CNG group that actually tests all our sensors, so they'll probably be doing that on an interval.
Yes. So all you have to do really is come up and put their little gas bottle onto here, and it's pretty quick because those bottles move the gas pretty quick. And for us to even test it, it took only like 2 hours to do this whole bottom, just to go around testing ourselves. So it went really fast. It's not a big process, only because if they have a lift, it'll be a lot easier. If it's like a room and you need a ladder, that's a little bit more difficult trying to get the smokes and stuff like that. This is a lot more open area.
Yeah.
This also is here. This is different because this is for tampering. So if the people come out here, right now it's open, but when you put it on, it supposedly deters people from hitting the buttons. But that might be another issue you might get later on if someone gets smart and they start trying to unscrew them. I hope they don't, but they could.
Well, the main thing that's going to happen here is just going to be tagged.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
They're just going to tag it.
But that's what this is. It's just pretty much a tamper-proof box.
If you blow on this one, will it set it off or not? On the whole thing?
No, that's only for, so the vent for there, and then on the bottom, so the gases could get inside and detect.
It's not go through.
Yeah, it doesn't go through so it's going to come through the bottom or the sides and then make its way around here. But it's such an open area right here, you'll probably never get this one to go on an alarm. I would say more about the ones deeper inside the structure will be the ones that probably go off.
All of them have these boxes?
Only the ones in the columns here in the middle. All the ones on the outside perimeter, they have the fence over, so there's access for you to get in there, but the population should not be walking over there. That's out of limits for them.
Yeah.
So all the places that have people get congregating will have these tamper boxes. And then right over here is one of my first IDFs, and this is going to be the one. We have 2 transponders down here, and this is one of them. We have 2 IDF rooms and 2 transponders in each room. You did all right, Bill? Were you sweating? You did all right. I saw you looking. Of course, there's ladders in front of it. Get your ladders out of here. Yeah, this is CCTV. He's finishing up the wiring to the power supply. That's why I was saying they're not going to have them big. But that's one of my last systems that go in the CCTV, and the other one was the PA. We just finally got the cameras dropped down. When you do the CCTV, we'll show you the Pentiums, and we did a nice job with hanging them on swivels. So, and they're all 360 cameras too. That's good. So every camera out here, you probably have over 100 cameras.
PTZ?
They're all PTZ, so you can see anything you want. This right here is going to be the power supply for the power for the sniffers. And so we sort of broke up the concourse in half. We consider this the east half. And so everything in the middle here will come here for power wise, all the relays and all the sniffers. These are all the power wires right here. This right here is also a power supply for multiple power runs. Now these are zones, so we have about, I think, 3 to 4 CNGs hooked up to one leg, one zone of power. So I don't have a power going to every one of them. We daisy chained, I think, 3 or 4 together.
Is there, but they're not fused over there.
No, they're not fused. So the power, the 24 volts just goes out and then just ends the line at the last one with no resistor or anything. The only thing I have resistors on are the strobes and the SLC itself for the smokes. That reports automatically. That's built-in resistors in the smokes and heads. So that's how we could tell. But that's a good point. This right here, this module here is for this power supply. So if there is an issue with this power, it's going to report off this monitor module. And it will report to the fire panel and will say this number in this room at this power supply it has an issue. So it makes it sort of easier versus having one wire come and connect them all, and then something happens, you'd have to check all of them. So this enables you just to go to one location where it might be having a problem. So that's my transponder for the power supplies for the CNG. This right here is the strobes. So and then in the other IDF, it's the same thing. We have a strobe and a power 24 volt power supply for the sniffers. And this is the same thing. We have monitor modules on all these strobes. Even though the strobes have in the lines, they're going to report to this, and this, if this one power supply goes bad, it will report. And then this right here is our amp for the voice evac. So we have 3 voice evac amps. And they're...
That's what I was wondering is, so the voice is independent of the regular paging system that I saw?
Yes, it is. It's independent, but we're setting up the PA also to have alarms. And they will be connected together. So the fire alarm goes off, it will cut off any PA working at the time and just be the fire alarm announcement. So they are going to be networked together.
So where does these announcements come out of?
So these all go back to the main panel. That's the brain. This is just the power for down here for the evac speakers.
Well, yeah, I was saying, so speakers are behind the strobes, or where?
The speakers, we'll go look at that. The speaker is the strobe. So we have 2 types of devices. We have a speaker strobe and we have a regular strobe. So we don't have 2 different devices, one speaker, one strobe. It's all in the same unit.
Yeah.
So it looks a lot cleaner and it's a lot easier to troubleshoot and to work on. But it's one unit, and they're all system sensor devices. And I believe that's what you have over at Division 9. I did that job a few years ago. I did that one.
I just never really heard an alarm, so I always hear the whoop.
Yeah.
And I thought that was part of the strobe, but it's not. It's an audible.
That's audible in the strobe, but that's just a plain horn strobe. This is a speaker strobe, a little bit more advanced, where it has the message and that whoop you hear here, whoop. That's called the California whoop. You didn't have to have the message, but MTA requires a message in English and Spanish, so we put that in for you.
Okay.
So
then these strobes are capable of voice.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
whooping now comes from the voice, or does it come?
The whooping's like automatic, and then you put whatever snippet of voice you want. I mean, there's a million you get off the internet, whatever kind of announcements you want.
And I guess my distinction is when you have just a strobe with the siren in it, you trigger the siren locally. It's generated locally.
Right.
Now that we have the strobe speaker here, that whoop is no longer generated locally. It's generated from the central point.
From the panel.
So it's a little different because one.
It's a little different, but it basically does the same kind of like horn noise. But the biggest special thing is the announcements you could put on it. Yeah, you're not able to put like announcements or any kind of voice over a horn. Usually that's just the device itself too. I mean, you can just put 24 volts to it and it's going to do it automatically. Here we have to program the speakers to make the announcement.
Right. That's why I'm for troubleshooting purposes. Because sometimes they'll tell you the whoop doesn't work with this does.
Right. Sure. So it's a little bit different animal, but it's the same lines. Just it's a little more advanced, I'd say, more advanced speakers. Because the typical ones just make the whole noise.
One of the nice functions of these power supplies is they actually have memory. Here you have trouble indications for each circuit. There's 4 circuits located on this power supply. And that tells us that
right there.
we show up, it's clear, but we can see in the event log we've had history of troubles on the power supply. Or we can come over here and see that it was circuit 3 was the circuit that had given us trouble in the past. It gives you something to look into and some direction as to where to go.
How does that get clear?
That is merely by hitting this button right up here.
Yep. It's so if you have an issue, it will stay there. You could.
Trouble
Yeah.
momentarily,
Yep.
and now it's clear. Now our module is gone clear again. And that's actually a supervisory point. It
And how
tracks the state.
How long does it hold the memory for? I mean,
Until you
it doesn't
reset.
clear?
Until you reset.
So you have to clear it.
You have to clear with this little button right here.
So if you don't clear it, it just remains.
Right.
Yep.
Because-
And if it is a solid trouble like it just happened, it'll be solid amber light.
Yes.
But since what I did, I installed some new strobes in this morning in those bathrooms. So we had to cut the circuit and we put them in. So it saw no end of line, so it just kept the memory of it being broken. So that's a good indication too. If you come down here and have an issue, you can see if it's blinking or not. Or if it's solid, solid means there's still a problem. If it's blinking, it means it was fixed, but just remembering that it was at one
So
time.
once you clear over there, then you can then come and investigate what
Yep,
happened.
exactly,
Investigate
exactly.
which circuit, or
Yep.
I mean, look more into it. And
So here you divided this level by east and west, not north and
Yes.
south.
Right, east and west. Because that's sort of, it's sort of like oblong. It's not like really a box. It's sort of long. So it pretty much made sense to cut it in half. And this is the IDF's on this side, and there's another IDF on that side to take care of the west side.
So the middle is somewhere between.
The middle's like the planters right there. There's nothing really going on there. There's the bathrooms right there, but I have nothing there but the CGs and some strobes.
Yeah.
But if you want, I'll go ahead and we'll look at those horn speaker strobes. Down so you can see 360, all of them. So it's going to work a lot better for you.
Controlling it, or they're all motion sensor event?
It's going to be controlled in the sheriff station. There's a new sheriff station going up in the transit building, and they're going to have a desk with a joystick and a monitor. That's what it's all going to report to. And also the main servers for the CCTV is in the transit building in the IDF room. So when CCTV comes, we'll go over all that and then we'll show you locations. But yeah, there's only going to be one joystick, one main monitor for the sheriff station. And then we'll have another monitor in the public area where the Greyhound is and the transit, just to show them that they're being watched. We have cameras everywhere though. But let's see here. Here's a regular strobe right here. Now these are outside weatherproof plain labeled strobes, and these are high candelas because they're sort of outside. So these should be all 185 candela, and they don't have any lettering because we don't want to confuse anyone when we have a gas alarm. And typically you'll see fire on it, so when they go off, we don't want the people to freak out that it's a fire, but it might not be a fire, it might be just the gas is building up. So that's why they're all plain, but they're all waterproof, and I wouldn't say they're spray proof, but they're...
The speakers inside there.
That one's just a strobe,
Oh.
and then over here I got a horn strobe.
Oh.
Here's my horn, my speaker strobe, excuse me, speaker strobe, not a horn, it's a speaker. And that's the big difference. They look the same, but see the slots?
That's the grill, yeah.
Yeah, that's a grill, and that's where the speaker is. These are a little bit deeper because in the back they have a big magnet cone, so it has to be deeper. Yeah, I had a problem with the first time around.
Go off whether CO2,
Yep.
fire, or methane?
That's correct. That's correct. All alarms. So that's why we have no writing on fire on there, because if people get confused and think it's a fire, but it's just gases building up.
But whatever it is, that announcement is going to tell you or not?
That's going to tell you. Yep. So if it's a fire, the announcement won't say fire. It will say emergency. Please leave in a calming manner, so you don't have people, mobbing and killing people, running over people. And then also the CNG will have a different. It'll say CNG levels are high or low. It depends on what they are. And we got a lot out here for coverage. I don't know if you want to hear them out here now. But we do have almost every pillar, almost every other pillar, we have a strobe and a speaker strobe, so it's pretty clear and it's pretty bright, especially with the higher candelas. And then over here we have 4 areas where we have our flow and tampers, and that's where the sprinkler water comes into this section of the concourse level. And we have a flow module for monitoring the flow, and then also a tamper monitor, so if anyone tries to mess with the wheel.
So this has to stay open like this? It can't be...
It should always be open, always open.
No, I'm saying it seems like...
You know what? I don't know if it would be a great idea if they caged it off,
Yeah.
but I don't know what they're going to do with this. But yeah, you should definitely have a cage around it because people will be tempted to mess with it. Too many things here to mess with. And right now, so here's the flow. and then that just checks the water flow because a sprinkler busts open, the water flows, and this will make the alarm go off. And up there will say water flow, and then the bells on the building will go off. And that's for the fire department to hear what section of the site they'll rush to first. And then this temporary right here is to turn off and on the water supply. Right now the Simplex, they turned off their temper, so we do have troubles in our panel because they had their tempers off. I think they're finished. When we're done, we're going to have to open this up and open them. So the monitor module here will go green. Right now it's red because it is closed. So when I think they're done, but they didn't turn on. So I'll turn it on for them, and then that should clear and be a green blinking light. Yeah. But there's 4 locations on this side. You can even see the wheels going down. They broke up this bottom portion like in 4 sections for the sprinklers. Yeah, they're all on this side. But you're right. They definitely should be fenced in, caged in. I agree with that. And then you only have those 2 toilets right there that have only a strobe in them. I guess those are self-cleaning like a car wash.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
But are those only for the public?
Now I heard they designed this without any bathrooms, so that's their quick fix. But now I'm hearing you probably have 40,000 people a day, and you have 2 bathrooms.
Exactly.
So that's an issue, and not on my, but it's an issue. I agree, that's a bad issue.
20 minutes to self-clean between uses.
So I don't know, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, and then also the MTA workers have a bathroom. That's over there by that van. That's for the MTA people, bus drivers and all that. That's their bathrooms. So there's 2 sets of bathrooms, but one's for employees and one's for the public.
When are we going to cover the announcement boards? What section are you going to cover that under communications?
Actually, that's not part. If there's a fire in here, the heat will turn off the power to the elevator, and also the smoke will recall it off this floor to the 2nd floor. And then also in here, there's what else is there? I guess that's about it. Good stuff. Then all the heats in the lobbies will recall it. Whatever floor the fire's on, it will take it to the next floor. So the elevators are definitely controlled with fire alarm. This is my other IDF. And we have the same setup. We have the power supply again for the strobes. And then we have the power supply again for the, the power for the CNGs. So it's the same setup as the last IDF room. Same thing.
Bottom's the piece.
What is the purpose of this thing?
I believe, Bill, I think these are for the mics, if you opted on mics. What are these for, the shells? Oh, I forgot what you said they were.
Oh, they were for batteries.
Oh, for batteries, okay.
However,
That's right.
we've opted to go with
And like we said, the same key will open every panel, same notifier key. And we had to go with 100 amp hour batteries because you have so many. So we couldn't use the little tiny batteries. So these are battery shells. We had to go with the big, deep cycle batteries.
And each one of these is capable of supporting a battery charger or charging batteries. However, we've opted to use the main power supply here, which will monitor the voltage and monitor any troubles,
And trickle charge it.
differential voltage on the batteries, over amperage. And this is actually responsible for charging and providing backup power to all the power supplies as well as charging the batteries. And it's the same thing on the other IDF.
Right.
And then the main panel also has its own set of big batteries as well upstairs.
And this right here is our makeup can where all the wire came back. I want to show you it. We have it labeled. So it has all the circuits for the visuals, all the audio circuits, the SLC or the data wire for the smokes. Come back to this can and get made up. Get open. It's pretty packed, but it's all labeled and it's in categories. I mean, it's like all the white and blue are all your strobes. All the black and red is your power. We got some power for the elevator rooms. These are the high power for the CNGs, the methane, and then the black and red is a different color because we had it for the low ones, so it's easier for you troubleshoot wise. So instead of all the same color, at least you'll know what area they'll be in. And we have 2 loops. Loop 1 from the panel is going to be pretty much all your smoke detectors and water flow and tampers. The loop 2 is going to be all your modules for the CNGs. So it's sort of broken up also. So if you have a problem on loop 2, you'll know it's a CNG issue. or relay electrical issue versus like a regular smoke or a pull station.
Which loop is the CO2 on?
Loop 2. And this is my little matrix. I mean, this is a rough copy. I'm going to make a nice one for you, but this will break down pretty much what everything is that's labeled here. So we'll put that on the cover inside there and like a little folder. So I mean, I know you guys are going to be troubleshooting, or maybe not, but maybe I know how it is. When you come out and troubleshoot, if there's nothing marked, it's hard to figure out where things are going. So we're trying to make it easy as possible to locate any kind of issue out in the field.
So there's nothing in the box that we can mess with, right? Because everything's just tuning.
Yeah, this is just basically a big wire nut. That's all it is. But it's a nice looking one. Instead of, you know, back in the day, I remember starting, they had all the wire nuts and they'd shove all the wire in a can and close it and try to figure that out, you know. But at least here it's all nice and looking, and, you know, it's straightforward, it's labeled, so it's a little easier to work on.
It gives you a point to take your meter and start isolating.
Yes. Isolate circuits.
Lift and isolate.
So this is how
We always do our fire alarm. It's much easier and better than wire nuts. Thanks.
What are these? Oh, camera.
Yeah, they're still wiring up the power for the camera, so that's why we're going for Thursday. The fire marshal made us cover all the boxes because we got TCO in these two buildings, so they can start moving in. So I had to cover it. But basically what I'm going to do now is take this off, and the wires ran down to this plug right here. So we're going to be able to connect there with the monitor on their desk that's going to be here,
Okay, so,
and the joystick will be on their desk right here.
so it's all IPs.
It's all on IP. Yep. All our cameras are IP. We have like almost 100 cameras IP addresses I got from Daniel. He gave me the IP addresses. Yep. But we're waiting for the desk and all that to come in before I put anything on the, you know, I don't want to leave it on the floor and get it all damaged. So I'm waiting till, and I asked them when they're going to do that, and they said pretty soon, but they haven't done it. So I don't know. But right here is the rescue assistance for the sheriff. There's only 2 locations. Even though there's 4 zones, there's only Zone 1 and Zone 2 are the only ones we're going to be using. Zone 1 will be this stairwell right here below the fire panel. And I don't know if you saw that when you come in. It's a button, big red button by the door on the bottom. And then we have one on the very end. There's a stairwell that goes up at the west side of the job, way over there. And there's also a button down there. And it's basically if someone gets in trouble or, you know, sort of a rape whistle, let's say, and they can hit the button and talk to the sheriff starting here.
Where's the brains behind it?
Right here. It's a very plain Jane kind of system. All it does is beep when it comes up, and then it's a 2-way voice command. You could talk to the speaker 2 ways and talk to whoever's in the stairwell. And it does have 4 zones, but you only have 2. We only have 2 on
We
the job.
have a camera that is pointed to us. They can.
We don't have a camera point on that, so we don't have anything security-wise, camera-wise. We didn't put any kind of like motion detector or anything like that for the cameras to move zone onto it. And actually, there's no cameras in the stairwells. So they're on the outside of the stairwells, but not inside the stairwells. So you have probably 5 cameras you can look at the stairwell with, but nothing inside the stairwell.
So they can't see who they're talking to.
They can't see who they're talking to. They can be blind. Unless they could see it through an open door or something, but we'd have no camera in the stairwell itself.
Okay, so the button's in the stairwell and the
Yep.
cameras are outside. Okay.
That's correct, that's correct.
How about
Yeah.
there in the public restrooms over there in the corners?
There,
That's gonna be the public restroom number 1. You know that. You know that.
there's a camera right above that restroom. You can just point it down the whole
On
time.
the corners, like here,
Oh.
all the dumpers
Yeah,
are okay
yeah.
over there.
So we do have cameras everywhere, so you'll be able to see them.
This is my
Come on.
See, those,
Hey.
he's right though, he's right.
40,000 people. You
He's
think
right.
they're
They're gonna be all over the place doing their
they're coming
business.
from other places far?
And as you see down the row, all the numbers, those are pylons. There's a camera on every pylon on down the row there. Right below the number, there's a camera. So you're going to be able to see everything on the site. They'd have to find a good hiding place not to see them with the
The
camera.
elevator, well.
Sure. So right here we have cameras again, and then horn speaker strobes up here. Motion detectors, those round dome looking things are the motion detectors. So I have, I believe, 4 motion detectors in this area. Every door has a door contact, so if you open it, it will report to security. There's glass, so the motion detectors will be more only for this area, obviously. And over there, there'll be more of the door contact. Well, those are 360, so they're sort of pointed everywhere. They have like a 50-foot radius that comes off of it. That's why we put 360s on, so they can sort of see a bubble versus just a straight line. And then right over here, we have a security bell. So if the alarm goes off, here's our security bell. No Regan here. It's mainly to scare the people away. And then we have it also
Makes it uncomfortable.
makes it uncomfortable, and also we have where the lights will turn on, and if it's dark, the lights will all turn on.
Oh, so Foothill gets all this back office and Greyhound gets the front?
I don't know how it's set up at all. All I know is that section over there is the Greyhound, and this section is the Foothill.
Oh, this whole half, okay.
So yeah, I think it's half. I think back here it's just pretty much. I know there's like a break room and luggage room.
Yeah, I thought we had into the Greyhound side.
So actually right here is Greyhound in front of us, and over there is Metro. But I think it's all